Let me ask you something. If you're storing customer details, transactions, or application data, is saving files really enough? Think about it. So most of the time, it isn't. And this is where databases come in. It's also where people often start to feel overwhelmed by AWS service names. The good news is, you only need to understand a few key ideas to make sense of this. Welcome to Learn Data Easy, the series where we break down cloud, data, and AI concepts without jargon or without stress. I'm Charlene. I work in data and AI, and my goal here is to help you understand how AWS works underneath in a way that's clear and practical. In this episode, we're talking about databases, when files aren't enough and structured data is needed. Before we talk about service names, here's the most important idea. Databases exist to store structured data that needs to be searched, updated, and queried efficiently. If you just need to store files, S3 is enough. If you need to store structured information, you need a database. A database is a system designed to store data in an organized way so it can be quickly read, updated, and searched. Think of things like user accounts, orders, transactions, and product catalogs. Databases are built for situations where data changes frequently and needs to be accessed reliably. The first major database service to know is Amazon RDS, which stands for Relational Database Service. RDS is used for relational databases, where data is stored in tables with rows and columns. AWS manages the database infrastructure for you, so things like backups, patching, and availability, while you focus on the data itself. A simple way to remember RDS is this. So Amazon RDS is a managed relational database. Amazon RDS is commonly used when data has clear relationships, consistency is important, or applications relied on structured queries. So for the exam, remember that RDS is a managed relational database service. The second major database service is Amazon DynamoDB. So DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and this just means that data is not stored in traditional tables, so no rows and columns with fixed schemas. It's designed to scale automatically and handle very large amounts of traffic without manual intervention. A simple way of remembering DynamoDB is this. So Amazon DynamoDB equals fast, scalable, NoSQL database. DynamoDB is commonly used when applications need very fast performance, data structure is flexible, workloads scale up and down quickly. And for the exam, you need to remember that DynamoDB is serverless, scalable, and NoSQL. The third database service is known as Amazon Redshift. Now, Redshift is a data warehouse, which is designed for analytics rather than day-to-day transactions. Instead of updating single records, Redshift is used to analyze large amounts of data and run complex queries. A simple way to remember Redshift is this. So Amazon Redshift is used for analytics and reporting. Amazon Redshift is commonly used when you're analyzing large data sets, you're running reports, or you're supporting business intelligence and analytics. For the exam, remember that Redshift is used for analytics, not transactional workloads. Here's the comparison you should memorize. Amazon RDS means relational databases, structured data. Amazon DynamoDB means NoSQL, and it's fast and scalable. Amazon Redshift means analytics and data warehousing. So if you remember this, most database questions become very straightforward. If you work with data or AI, databases are everywhere. Applications store data in RDS or DynamoDB, while analytics and model training often rely on data stored in Redshift or S3. So AWS provides different database services so you can match the tool to the workload without managing servers yourself. This is important. Let's recap the key ideas. So databases store structured data. AWS offers different database services for your different use cases. Amazon RDS is used for relational databases. Amazon DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and this is designed for scale, so we're talking large amounts of data. Amazon Redshift is used for analytics and reporting. If this makes sense, you're doing very, very well. In the next episode, we'll talk about networking. So this is how services communicate inside AWS and how the internet connects to the cloud. And we'll keep it just as simple. If this has helped, subscribe. And let's keep learning cloud the easy way. See you next time.